Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. Today is a good day. It's nice and sunny here in Connecticut, but it's also a sad day. A sad day that I remember when my mother died. My mother died in August. This video is going to be a tribute video to my mom. This recipe is extremely special to me because I remember she used to make this for us when things was tough and when things was tight and we didn't have much to eat. She had 6 kids and she had to feed all of us, so she had to make it stretch so everybody can get a bite to eat and have leftovers for the next day. This recipe is called sugar meal. It is delicious. I love it. I grew up eating this. I want to share it with you guys, and in remembrance of my mom, I'm definitely going to be making this recipe today. Mom, I miss you. I love you. I wish you was here, but I know the Lord called you home and you had to go. I will live in memory of you always. Thank you for raising me into this wonderful woman that I am today. And so with the love for you, I'll share the recipe that you taught me to the world. So mama, this is for you. May your soul rest in peace. Love you. So let me go through the recipe and all the things we're gonna need into this sugar meal. Alright, and again, this is tribute to my mother. You're going to need cornmeal, of course. Okay, this is a cornmeal that I'm using. This is a Grace cornmeal. You can use any cornmeal that you have into your kitchen. You're going to need 4 cups of cornmeal, depending on how many people you might want to make it for, but I'm going to make it for about 5 people. I'm using 4 cups of cornmeal, pure cornmeal that is, 2 cups of brown sugar, 1 can of coconut milk, 3 tablespoons of butter or margarine. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, and 1 teaspoon of spice, allspice. Now, if you don't have allspice, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and add an extra amount of cinnamon powder instead of the allspice. Also need a pinch of salt. So let's go. So okay guys, I have my pot on the fire, and make sure before you put your cornmeal or any mixture or anything, make sure that that water is boiling. So I have a pot of water in the pot which is boiling right now, come to a full boil, and I have 4 cups of water in there. Okay, so that's 4 cups of water that I'm going to get this thing going with. The first thing I'm going to do is add my butter, and again this is 3 tablespoons of butter. Butter or margarine is fine. I'm going to add 2 cups of brown sugar, and I prefer you don't use the granulated sugar. Use the brown sugar because that's what's going to give it that old time flavor. My mother told me that her mother taught her and her mother's mother taught her, and this is what my mother said. My grandmother tell her that this is what the slaves used to have when they didn't have much to eat. So now I'm going to add my coconut milk in, and this is 1 cup of coconut milk, and it's 1 can, actually 1 can of coconut milk. I'm going to go ahead and add my nutmeg, my cinnamon powder, and my allspice. Just add everything in there. A teaspoon of salt. Also going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla, and just mix this in. Now what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to let this boil. So that butter that I just put in, we want the butter to melt in it nice. So within another like 15 minutes, when everything come together, all the spice and everything come together, I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to add my cornmeal. So the cornmeal is the last thing you're going to add. So I'm going to let this come together nicely, and within 10 to 15 minutes I'll come back and I'll add the cornmeal in. See you back in 15 minutes. So okay guys, it's been boiling for about 10 to 15 minutes on high heat. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this heat down on low heat because I don't want this thing to burn up. I want it steam. If you turn it up high, it's going to burn. It's not going to be cooked and it's going to burn. You need to put it on low heat. So don't forget, when you're ready to put your cornmeal in, you turn down that fire from high and put it on low heat. Okay, So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and put my cornmeal in. Make sure when you put in your cornmeal, you spin it at the same time. It's just like you're boiling porridge. Make sure you spin it because you don't want it to get lumpy. So you go ahead and you spin. You add the cornmeal and you spin. And guys, I'm using 4 cups of cornmeal. Okay, now guys, this is what it looks like right now. I don't want it like this because I want my meal to get nice and soft. So I'm going to add another half a cup of water and stir. It's not very hard. It's very easy actually. It's really easy. So remember guys, you started off in the pot with 4 cups of water. Okay guys, so that is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add another half a cup of water on here. But this time I'm not going to stir it in. I'm just going to leave it. And I'm going to use my pot cover again and cover this up. Make sure your fire is on low heat, please guys. Low heat because you don't want the bottom to burn. Leave it on there for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And you're going to let that thing steam thoroughly. Alright? So I'm going to see you back in a 30 minutes. Don't forget, low heat only. Almost off. Low heat. Okay guys, so the sugar meal has been cooking for about 30 minutes. And that's what it looks like after cooking for 30 minutes. And it is all done. This is what it should look like. Not too hard and definitely not too soft. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn that fire off and I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to move to the next step and get this thing on a plate so we could all eat. So see you back in 10 minutes. Okay guys, okay guys, I'm going to move to the next step of this sugar meal. Now after I let this sit for 10 minutes, you go ahead, you get your little basin. But depending on what kind of size of basin you have or how much meal you make, but this one is going to make a pretty good size. So you get your basin, make sure you have a flat plate. You're going to need this. So you want to just go ahead and just put your meal in here. Get all of it out. The next thing you want to do, get your big spoon and just press it out. Then the next step you're going to do, you get your flat dinner plate. Make sure you have a big enough size. And you put it over like that, just like you're covering it up. You turn it upside down, just like you're making an upside down pineapple cake. You shake it real good. So you actually have to separate the corners from the basin. So you shake it real good and then you slowly move it. And there you have it, all done. I'm gonna let this sit and cool. It's eaten best when it's cold. So when it's cold, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it for you guys so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside as well. So I'll see you back in like 20 minutes when this thing cool down, so we all can eat. Do for you now that it's nice and cool, you can see it's holding pretty nice and firm. You just want to go ahead and cut it just like you're cutting a cake. Just cut it right there. And guys, you could have this with a nice glass of milk or juice or anything like that. Okay, so there you go. It's nice and yumptious. You see that, guys? Nice and yumptious. Perfect. So there you have it, all done. Okay guys, I hope you like this recipe. Give it a try, let me know how you like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And once again, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy.
See
up nice and make it simmer. And when it done simmer, a time to eat. So see you back in a few minutes.
This is with your foundation, full coverage, you know, like bam. And last but not least, the last thing I tend to go for in my makeup collection is this palette right here. Let me show you what this baby looks like. It has a whole bunch of concealers. I believe it's $10 for this palette.